Boom. That's it. I'm waiting. See how it says live video is starting down here? There we go. Look at there. Look at there. Would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? Okay, cool. So live over on Facebook. Woo, 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 woo. Live over on TikTok. Woo, 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 woo. And we actually built the full show right here in Wirecast, so we can do what it is we know we need to do. So how about that? Today is a good day. Today is a good day. All right, just final confirmation. Boom, live on Facebook, live on Wirecast, live on TikTok, live for the podcast, live for YouTube. Where else does this thing go? YouTube, podcast, Facebook, TikTok, Wirecast. Okay, now all we got to do is have a show. Let's do it. Good morning and welcome to the #1 morning show in America. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to 1, father to 9, author, speaker, and the founder of 800%.life. It's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Tuesday. That's right, today is Tuesday, a.k.a. Taco Tuesday. That's right, on Tuesdays in the Lundy house, we make our way over to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Grandma and Grandpa make us tacos. Me and my wife sit around like lazy slugs. My mom chases the kids all over the place. She gives the kids baths. Sometimes it's their only bath they get all week. Especially the little ones. Don't tell my wife I told you that. She runs around. She gives the kids the bath. She does all those things. We get to hang out. It's super nice. We love Taco Tuesday in the Lundy house. Today is Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. And what's crazy is that we've been doing this show live over 2,000 times over the last 8 years. And Facebook can't get with the program no matter which way we go. And so we have to have help from you to have people be able to find our show. Facebook won't let people find it, even people that have notifications turned on, even people that go to my page. So if you don't tag them, then we can't bag them. You know what I'm saying? Tag them and bag them. So do me a favor, for those of you over on Facebook here this morning, hit that share button, tag your friends, the people that you know are supposed to be here, help them find today's episode. Tuesday, April 14th, 2026, and what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Tuesday, April 14th, 2026, so I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. Coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky, where if you don't know me, my name is Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to 1, a father to 9, I am the owner of the 800%.life. I'm also an author of a book called The Legacy Titles, 12 Proven Principles to Grow Your Business 800%. That book right there. I also wrote a book called The Morning 5 Simple Steps to an Extraordinary Life. But most importantly, I'm just a guy who figured out a few things that I want to share with you today that I think can make an impact in your life. So I really want you to lean in with, thank you, Jimmy T. I really need you to lean in with me, please, this morning. Hi, Liza. I'm reading my book, The Legacy Titles. We're reading it as a team, Liza, and this morning was the chapter where he's talking about the lead process. And he's doing a daily morning meeting. And in the daily morning meeting, Liza, there's a Google review in the daily morning meeting in the book. I did an example of a Google review right there from Carrie T. Johnson. In the Google review says, taking the advice from my stepfather, I drove from Louisville, Kentucky, and walk in with my mother to meet Liza Borchis, my car salesperson at Smith Chevrolet. The experience and personal relationship in the moment was far more than expected. I had the honor to meet Liza and to buy a truck with confidence from a well-respected dealership. I could write about the whole experience, but to keep it brief, I walked in thinking I'd be attacked, and what I got was a saleswoman of honor, respectful, and she treated my mother with respect. Smith Chevrolet should be proud to have Liza Borges as an employee. Thank you for the experience and the music you play. God bless. I just happened to read that this morning, and I was thinking about you. You were a character in my book, just like you've been an amazing character in my life. So listen, I need you to lean in today because we've done this 2,000 times. That's right. We've gone live on Facebook over 2,000 times. That's right, a sales associate. But today might be the one. This might be the one that changes everything for you. It might. It might. I'm talking for those of you over on Clubhouse. This might be the one that changes everything for you. For those of you that are watching on replay, this might be the one that changes everything for you. Maybe you're watching on TikTok behind the scenes where you can see the full production of the show and the Wirecast. This might be the episode for you. Maybe you're new around here. Maybe you've never been here before. Maybe you've never been here before, and this is going to be, you just happen to stumble in here. I don't know, but this might be the episode that changes everything for you. And here's why. Here's why that might be the case. Yesterday we launched a new series called The Slight Edge, turning simple disciplines into massive success and happiness. This is a book by a guy named Jeff Olson, and it's the book that we're reading together as a community in our Rise and Grind community. And yesterday we talked about how there's some simple principles in this book, if you were to sum it up really short. And we just talked about how some of these things that we know we need to do are really simple and they're really easy to do. And because they're simple and easy to do, they're easy not to do, right? Like we all know, the formula for health. The formula for health is sweat every day, get good rest, and eat the right food. Right? We all know that's the formula for health. It's very easy to do. It really is. Eat the right food, sweat every day, get some rest. But because it's easy to do, it's also easy not to do. It's easy to not eat the right food. It's easy to not get the right rest. And it's easy to not want to sweat every day. It's very easy to convince ourselves, hey, it's okay. I'm not going to do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. And so we talked yesterday about how those little tiny decisions, those little tiny moments, those invisible choices, like they begin to shape everything in your life, right? That decision to wait till tomorrow, to not do, to eat that one food that you know you shouldn't eat, to not do that workout. It's those teeny tiny little decisions. They start to compound over time, right? They start to compound over time. But today we have to address the real elephant in the room. Yesterday we talked about the little tiny things. Today we need to address the real big elephant in the room, because some of you have been with me long enough, and I know that some of you are thinking to yourselves, Glenn, I've been doing the right things. Some of you are thinking, Glenn, I have been showing up. Some of you are thinking, Glenn, I have been. I've been trying. I've been putting in the work. But why am I not? I'm not seeing any results, Glenn. I watch your show. I wake up early. I do the work. I eat right. I show up at the gym like I'm supposed to. Like, dude, I'm doing the work, and I'm not seeing any result. And I can understand how some of you can feel that way, because I feel that way sometimes in a lot of different areas of my life. One of those areas right now is I decided at the beginning of this year that I was going to work out intensely every single day. And I have. Here I am 100 plus days into the year. I'm no Don Sankey, but I'm 100 plus days into the year, and I have not missed a single workout. Every single workout has been intense. I've been training for high rocks. I'm pouring sweat when I leave the gym every single day. And I've gained 4 pounds. I've gained 4 pounds this year. And so I get it, right? It's like, golly, man, I'm showing up every day. I'm doing the work. I'm showing up on social media every day, right? I'm showing up on social media every day with this show. I go live with this show at 5:30 a.m. I'm mixing it up to where we're doing things on TikTok. Wow, thanks, Robert Pollard, for the roses. I'm mixing things up where we're doing things over on TikTok. Today, I went ahead and set up the feed through Facebook itself instead of through Wirecast to see if it would make a difference, right? I show up every day, and then I see other creators, bro. I see other creators that don't go live as often, other creators that aren't as intentional, other creators that I believe their message is not as impactful. I see other creators that don't have anywhere near as many comments, don't have anywhere near as many shares, but you guys can share all day long. You can comment all day long, and this show won't get the reach that it deserves. Like, some of you are like, Glenn, I'm doing it. I'm showing up. I'm trying. I'm putting in the work, but I'm not seeing results. And that's the real elephant in the room. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit today, because I want to introduce you to something that most people never understand. And it's something that causes most people to quit. And it's called the silent gap. Or, as it's referred to in The Slight Edge, and what some people call it, they call it the Plateau of Latent Potential. Let me show you what that means.
What does progress look like to you? Imagine that there's an ice cube sitting on a plate in front of you. The room is cold. You see that the temperature is set at 26 degrees. Now, let's say the room begins to heat up ever so slowly. 27 degrees, 28 degrees. The ice cube is still sitting on the table in front of you, ever so calmly. 29, 30, 31. Still, nothing has happened. Then, 32 degrees, the ice begins to melt. Now, you might say a 1 degree shift was no different from the temperature increases before it, but that action of melting resulted from all the stored previous changes. The same concept can be applied to habits and progress, and it's called the Plateau of Latent Potential. We often expect progress to be linear when it comes to results, like this line. But in reality, the results of our efforts are often delayed, if not for months or even years. And this can result in a valley of disappointment, where people feel discouraged after putting in weeks or even months of hard work without experiencing any results. However, it's important to note that this valley of disappointment was not your work being wasted, it was simply being stored until the full value of previous efforts could be revealed.
So that is the gap, or the plateau of latent potential. We're going to dive into that a little bit more here on today's episode. Before we do, though,
check the blueprint. It ain't about the mountain, it's about the steady hand. Foundation is king, solid. Mind stay focused, every single day is a test. Clocking in the labor, while the others want to rest.
You know what we got to do.
Put the weight on the frame, structure of a titan, yeah, I'm building the name. It's the ritual.
You know what we got to do on this show? We got to do a little dancing. There's going to be a little bit of an echo over on TikTok because you are behind the scenes. If it's too crazy, just let me know and I'll turn it off to where you can't hear the music. Or actually, I guess, yeah, it'll be where you can't hear the music. But for those of you who know, those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you, yes, you, to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. All right, whether you're watching this show live or you're watching this show on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. Robert Pollard, thank you for being here this morning. Thanks for all the roses. 20,000 likes over there on TikTok already this morning. I love it. Jeremy Nolling, good morning, sir. My man, great to see you. Tosh be sharing like a crazy mad woman over there on TikTok. I love it. Wendy Reeves, good morning. Russell Hill, good morning. Tanya Robinson is in the building this morning. Trisha Rue is in the building this morning. Tumba Cool. What's up, Tumba Cool? My God, in the building. Ramon Ray is in the building. Ramon, I have been missing you. I was about to message you yesterday, like, where are you? Wendy Reeves is in the building. Robert Migliaccio, thank you so much for being here today. I greatly appreciate it. Mr. Mike Larkin is in the building. Suzanne Waugh is in the building. Rachel Guidry, what up, Rachel? What are you doing, girl? Great to see you. My goodness, I'm so glad you're here. Valerie Stone is in the building. Mike Rendine. What up, Mike Rendine? Paul Brindley is in the building. My boy, Don Sankey. Don Sankey, did we get you all set up? You got your logins and everything for 800%? Because I'm ready to turn up the used cars for Carter Myers Automotive Group. Let's go. It's time. It's more than time. It's been time. All right, Jody Tibbs is in the building. Bella Rigby is in the building. Maria Lind, let's go. Dwayne Moser, good morning. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Tosh Queen is in the building. Frank Knox, the bench press. This guy, I can't bench press, but he can. He's a beast. Angela Hastings is in the building. Thank you for being here. All of you that are watching on replay, thank you for being here. Ramon was at a Human XAI conference in San Fran that I want to hear all about. That is for sure. Over on TikTok, Jimmy T, thank you for being here. Ms. Fitmom has been here with me all morning. For those of you on TikTok, where you're looking at behind the scenes, so now that I've figured out how to screen share and got permission to do that, if any of you ever want to see behind the scenes with all the different shots and how we produce the show and so on and so forth, you can do that over on TikTok. A quick little announcement. We do have a sales workshop coming up May 19th and 20th. This is a free sales workshop. If you are a salesperson, want to be in sales, or you want to send, you lead some salespeople, send them to Lexington, Kentucky, May 19th and 20th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. both days. I'll pour into them. I'll send them back with some Glenergy, or I'll pour into you, send you back with some Glenergy. All you have to do is go to 800%.life, 800%.life /events, 800%.life /events, and you can register for this event. I hope to see you there. Also, quick little reminder, we are in the process, my team right now is in the process of rereading the legacy titles, 12 proven principles to grow your business 800%. It's a book that I wrote. You can grab it on Amazon if you haven't already. The legacy titles, 12 proven principles to grow your business 800%. Now, it's also on Audible. The Audible, we have a bunch of extra footage. We have professional audio and so on and so forth. It's super cool. Check it out. All right, let's continue with today's episode of #Rise and Grind. So you plant the seed, right? You plant the seed, you water the soil, you show up every single day, and yet the ground stays still. Nothing happens. There's no growth. There's no breakthrough. There's no applause. Seems like everybody's just running past you. You're not getting anywhere. There's nothing. It's just dirt, right? Just empty dirt. And then the dirt becomes doubt. And then there's a quiet voice inside you. And that quiet voice says, Maybe this isn't working. maybe what you thought was, God's calling is actually just you. Maybe what you thought was a good idea actually wasn't. Maybe you're not talented enough. Maybe you're not good looking enough. Maybe you're not disciplined enough. Maybe you're not capable. Maybe, just maybe, this isn't working. And here's what's happening. Here's what's really happening. This is what's being said to you. But what's happening is your effort and your results are not on the same timeline. Let me say that to you one more time for the person in the back. Your effort and your results are not on the same timeline. You see, there's a gap. There's a delay. There's a season where it feels like nothing is happening and everybody wants to just go right over the top of the gap. That's what everybody wants to do. Nobody wants to go down into the gap. If I'm standing on a ridge, I'm standing on a gap, and it's 4 miles down and 4 miles up, I'm like, bro, how do I go around? How do I go around? How do I go over the top? Build me a bridge. I don't want to go down in the gap. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go into that season where it feels like nothing is happening. I don't want to do that. Maybe that's you today, and I want to say this to you. This is why I think today's episode could really be a game changer for someone, because I just want to say to you that just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not growing. You see, the work is working even when it's invisible. The problem is most people will quit while they're in the gap. That's when most people quit. But you have to understand that success is delayed. It's not denied. Success is delayed. Consistency feels pointless right before it becomes powerful. So let me paint a picture for you, all right? This is the picture that I'm in right now, right? You decide you want to get in shape. And day 1, you're all fired up about it. Day 2, you're still feeling good about it. Day 7, you step on the scale and nothing's happened. Day 14, you're stepping on the scale and nothing's happened. And then you do like I do. You're like, dude, I've been here every single day. I'm sweating like crazy. I'm putting in the work. Man, this is not working. That's just naturally where your brain goes. This is not working. But what most of us don't realize is that your body is actually changing before the mirror reflects it. And the same is true in your business. The same thing can be true in your marriage or your relationships. What's up, Will Ramsey? The same thing is true when it comes to your mindset. You see, I know me, Glenn Lundy, right now, speaking specifically to me, I know that I'm in the gap. I know that I'm in the gap. I know that I've worked out every single day for 100+ days and I've gained 4 pounds. I know that I'm in the gap. I removed alcohol from my life this year. I removed nicotine from my life this year. I added in some meditation and some stillness. I added in daily intense workouts. And I know I'm in that gap, dude. I know I'm in that gap. I can see a few things. My clothes fit a little bit different than they used to be, but I step on the scale and I've gained a few pounds. My belly's still not where it wants to be, right? Like I'm not seeing this crazy, massive, oh, it's 100 days in, I should see a crazy result. No, I know. I am aware. Like I am in the gap. And it's uncomfortable because that gap does not reward you immediately. It will never reward you immediately. And we live in a world where everything is instant. But greatness, here's what you have to understand, my friend. Greatness takes time. You see, it's the quiet season where roots grow deep. Before branches ever reach the sky, it's the unseen work that ends up building unshakable strength. It's the repetition that nobody celebrates until one day they can't ignore you anymore. So let me ask you, where in your life are you in the gap right now? Is it your health that you're in the gap? Is it your finances that you're in the gap? Is it your relationships that you're in the gap? Is it your business that you're in the gap? Like, where are you showing up every day, but you're not seeing results yet? Drop that in the comments. I would like to know. What happened? TikTok kicked me off for inactivity. Wonder what that means. I guess because I wasn't liking people's stuff. That's weird. Dang, and I had a bunch of good time on there. There, I'm back. I don't know why it kicked me off. I guess I have to keep that screen up to where I can see it. I only had this other screen up. Sorry for those of you on TikTok. Where are you showing up but not seeing results yet? Because see, this is the point. Like this is where people split. Right here, when you're in the gap, this is where it happens. This is where the champions split out from the rest. It's in the gap. Because everyone's going to go into the gap. Period. You can't avoid the gap. But some people, while they're in the gap, they say this isn't working and they quit. Other people say, I can't see it yet. And they keep going. Same actions, different belief, different outcome. So listen to me. If you can learn to fall in love with the process, even when it's not producing, you can become unstoppable. If you can find a way to live your life in a way that you do not need a result to stay committed, you can become unstoppable. If you can find a way to live in a way that all you need is belief, no result. You don't need to be able to see it in the mirror. You don't need to see it in your bank account. Just an overwhelming belief where you don't need proof to continue. You can become unstoppable. You can become unstoppable. You see, the gap is where champions are built. So here's what I want you to do today. When you don't see results, or if you're in that area and you're not seeing results, instead of saying like, hey, this isn't working, I want you to say, hey, I might still be in the gap. That's it. Instead of saying it's not working, just say, hey, I might still be in the gap. And then tomorrow we'll talk about some things. We'll go even deeper. We'll talk about how your environment feeds into this and the people around you, and how you can either expand your slight edge or destroy it. But this is the most important piece of the whole entire week. The slight edge isn't just about what you do. It's about how long you're willing to do it without the applause, without the validation, without the results. You see, too many people are quitting in the season that was designed to ultimately prepare them. Now, Ramon asked a question over here on Facebook. He says, is there a time to pivot? A time to note that something is not for you? Not for you in this season? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that there is. Here's the thing, though, Ramon. If you're passionate about something and you're showing up every day, you can literally look in the mirror and say, I'm showing up every day, giving 800%. And the result is just not there yet. You likely are just in the gap. you're likely just in the gap. If you're letting the fact that you're not getting a result tell you it's time to pivot, then I would say that's not the time to pivot. If you're still passionate about it, it still brings you joy. You know it's something that you're called to. You're just not seeing the result yet, then no, don't quit. However, if you've reached a point where it's not result driven, it's just you're like, I don't like this, didn't want to do this, have no desire for this, cannot see this being a part of my future. You know, I started no offense, don't get mad at me, people, but like maybe you started into some sort of like MLM, but you're like, I really don't believe in this product. Then yeah, maybe you need to pivot. But if it's a results-based decision, not a passion, not a heart, not a desire, not a dream, if it's strictly because you're not seeing a result, you're like, now I'm going to change, you're in the gap. I'll give you a perfect example, and then I'm going to go head over to Clubhouse, and we'll talk about this, and I'm going to let the rest of you guys go. But here's a perfect example. I believe and have for a very long time that if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. And I have a desire and a dream to be the number one morning show host in the world. Number one morning show host in the world. That's why I build the full productions. That's why I get up at 3:50 in the morning. That's why I've done 2,000 episodes. I have this desire to be the number one morning show host in the world. I think it's the biggest impact I can make on the planet is to help people change the way they start their day. I really believe that. And so I show up here, and you show up with me. And we have a decent-sized community, but nowhere near number one morning show in the world. And we've been here for 8 years. We've showed up in different ways. We've tried different setups and so on and so forth, right? And I personally believe that we're not getting the result that I envision, right? The result is number one morning show host in the world. I don't see that result in reality yet. I don't. And sometimes it can be frustrating, and sometimes I can say this is not working, and sometimes I can say, yeah, Facebook is shutting us down, and TikTok just cut us off, and there's a million reasons to quit. There's a million reasons to quit. But I cannot fathom that the universe would call me this way, that God would put this on my heart. I cannot fathom that this much effort and energy and show-uppedness will not one day break through. I can't fathom that. I can't. So I will continue to show up here every single day and battle whatever battles we have to battle. I will show up every single day, and we will continue. And I don't care if it's 8 years or 18 years or 28 years or 40 years. I just believe with all of my heart that this is the greatest legacy I can leave on this planet. And so I'm not going to let the result that feels impactful but yet not as expansive as in my vision, I'm not going to let that gap from the result that I'm getting and the result I envision, I'm not going to allow that gap to make me quit. So wherever it is in your life that you're experiencing that, you're putting in the work, but you're not getting the result that you envision for yourself. But your passion, your joy is your desire, the calling, those things are there. Then I'm just here to tell you, you're in the gap. And you have to believe. Because you and I, my friends, are children of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made you and I to be the absolute best versions of ourselves we can possibly be. Not average versions, not a little bit below, not even a little bit above. Absolute best versions of ourselves. And in order for us to become the best versions of ourselves we can possibly be, we have to allow the seeds, we have to allow the roots of what has been placed in our hearts and our desires to dig as deep as they need to dig foundationally before they ever pop up on the surface and we unlock our full potential. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. I'm really sad because I started way early on TikTok to try to get this 85-minute thing. It keeps telling me to go live for 85 minutes, and it freaking shut off right before we hit the 85-minute mark. Golly! I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again right here on #RiseandGrind. I'm going over to Clubhouse. I'm going to hang out over there. Have a great day.
Foundation is king. Solid. Mind stay focused. Every single day is a test. Clocking in the labor while the others want to rest. One step, one motion. Put the weight on the frame. Structure of a titan, yeah, I'm building the name. It's the ritual, the visual, the logic is sound. Steady rising up from the cracks in the ground. Keep it consistent, yeah, the rhythm is tight. Locking it in. Working deep in the night, working deep in the night.